What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is Games People Play Season 2, Episode 10. This is the finale. So we open up this episode. Marcus is at the negotiation table, and they're offering him 65. He said that he deserves 75, and he really is not trying to, he's not trying to negotiate, compromise. And he's got a real nasty attitude. And again, he's still mad about what happened down to the brunch. And so, his boo thing is trying to, Eden is trying to negotiate the situation. And he's not even trying to talk to her. So, she's like, well, Marcus, can we talk privately? And he's like, no. So then her dad rolls in there and she was like, Dad, I didn't know you were here. That you were joining us. And he said, well, I wasn't, but I heard that we got a little problem. So what's good? Marcus, what's this going to take to make this happen? And Marcus was basically like, listen, I don't even know if there's anything you can pay me because I don't even know if I want to be a part of this team anymore. And so he was like, well, Marcus, you're under contract. I don't think you understand how this goes. And he was like, it's whatever. I'm telling you now. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm out. So he gets up to leave and his lawyers get up to leave. And so Eden is like, can we talk privately? I mean, no, she catches him in the hallway. And she tells him, she says, listen, Marcus, like, first of all, I know you know that I didn't have anything to do with any of this. Like, I didn't have anything to do with my father. I didn't know he had anything to do with it. He was like, oh, so you confirming that your father did have something to do with my wife disappearing. And she was like, yeah, but I didn't have anything to do with it. You've got to believe me. She said, can we please, like, negotiate? Can we please come to some sort of an understanding? And he was like, listen. She said, Marcus, I care about you. Like, you need to know that I really do care about you. And he was like, listen. I just need to work some things out right now. I'll let you know. So later on, we see her talking to her father and letting her father know, listen, I really love Marcus. And he's like, Marcus don't love you. Like, I don't even understand. Like, you're going to, like, after everything that I've done for you, you getting ready to throw everything away. Like, Marcus don't love you. Like, what are you doing? Like, Marcus, like, girl. And he said, I can't believe that you willing. And she said, listen, either you going to, do right. Or I don't care what you do. You can cut me off. You can fire me. You can do whatever. But know that I'm going to ride with Marcus on this. Like, I love him. And so he was like, I can't believe that that you really willing to let Marcus. You're really willing to basically, walk away from me for Marcus. And he don't even love you like that. So he said, I bet you in a minute that if his wife showed up, you would be yesterday's news and he'd be back with his wife. And she was like, listen, the hard ones with the hard ones. So then we see MJ. MJ is the man. MJ is on the news. He's become this influencer that he wanted to become. And he's on the show of the woman that we know is with the foundation. She's the one that's been spinning these stories and all of that good stuff. And it just lets you see the come up. You see, how far he's come up in this whole situation, right? So then Marcus is over Kareem's house, and of course he's, wallowing in self-pity about the situation, about how he might not sign back with, the team and what he might do. And Kareem was like, listen, I understand where you're coming from. He was like, but damn, like, if you don't sign back with the team, does that mean I don't get my job? And, Marcus was like, I didn't even think of it like that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to hurt you in my decision, but I got to make the best decision for me. And he's like, I get it. Like, I understand. It is what it is. So, Quita comes home and lets Marcus know, listen, we're getting married at, we get married at Eden's house. Like, I asked her, she said yes. And so Marcus, of course, is like, are you serious? Like, you could have asked, you could have done it at my house. And he was like, and she was like, your house is sort of modern and we wanted more of a, an old, like, more classic, look. And he was like, you still gonna be my best man, right? And he was like, yeah. And I'm gonna throw you out a bachelor party. She said bachelor and bachelorette party. So they basically end up having a combined bachelor and bachelorette party, which y'all know was a damn fool. There was strippers on both sides of the club, male strippers over here, female strippers over here, and Kareem was so jealous he couldn't handle watching her dancing with the strippers and all that good stuff. Eden did show up, and it was really interesting because Eden showed up, and her and Marcus actually had a moment. He was nice to her, and she said, me and you really do need to talk. She was like, this isn't the time or the place, but we do need to talk. He said, you're right, we will. We're going to talk. He said, but let me buy you a drink. And then he was flirting with her a little bit. So I was like, okay, he's starting to thaw out a little bit. Now, while this is going on, Mia gets a letter from immigration. Remember, we found out earlier this season that she don't even have a green card. I mean, that she's not even a citizen, that she's here on a visa. Well, she got a letter from immigration basically telling her that since she's now unemployed, it revokes her visa and she needs to report to immigration so she can be deported back to Nigeria. And I was like, dang, that's messed up. And of course she said it was the foundation, and she was with Terrence, and he was like, you think it's the foundation? She was like, who else would it be? Like, come on. And so he says, well, there's one way that, we can do this and you not get deported. And she was like, what? He was like, you can marry me. And so of course she was like, oh, Terrence, oh my goodness. So down to the TV studio, whatever, we see Miss Golden Goddess, baby. She has become a whole influencer to speak out on, victims. And she said that she owes everything to MJ because if it weren't for MJ, putting his hashtag, I believe, whatever the child, Golden Goddess child, that she wouldn't be getting sort of like the notoriety that she is. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. I would do anything. I got you. And all I keep thinking is, if the foundation is really coming after these people, the fact that MJ is still cool with these people, like, ain't nobody following him around, ain't nobody seeing who he hanging out with. I was like, okay. So then, we see MJ meet up with Nia. And he tells her, like, at the bachelorette party, he tells her, give me the video, I'll get the, because she's trying to get the video out there and nobody will pick it up. And so he tells her, listen, trust me, I'll get it out there. You can tell she don't trust him. You can tell she not sure if it's really gonna happen. But she ends up giving him the video for him to put it out there. And again, I'm thinking to myself, MJ, here you are at a bachelorette party with all these people that you supposed to not really be hanging out with, but here we are. And I'm thinking, like, the foundation ain't watching you. But anyway, next thing you know, we are at the wedding, and it was beautiful. Okay, it was hood, but it was beautiful. We saw Kareem talking to his mom, and the daddy ain't there, and he said, listen, I don't care about him, like, he ain't shit, and it is what it is. And she said, well, you know what, don't worry about it, you've always been a good son to me, and even when you made bad decisions, I know that you thought they were the right decision. Quita looks beautiful, she again, hood but beautiful. The wedding party comes down the aisle to meet me at the altar. I'm like, y'all gotta be hood. And they had they had their wedding, and Kareem had these beautiful, beautiful wedding vows where he's talking about his undying love and how he knew since the very beginning, and even when she's fussing at him, he don't want to live a day without her. And it was really sweet. Like, he got a little choked up and everything. I said, oh, this is so sweet. Her vows was like, I know you lucky to be marrying a woman like me. I love you. The preacher was like, that's it? That's it? She was like, yeah, that's it. Oh, I don't believe in divorce, but I do believe in funerals. I said, that was ghetto and hilarious all at the same time. I said. But they ended up, exchanging their vows and everything. And they're married, so it was sweet. It was cute. So then after the wedding, Marcus and Eden finally do talk. And she tells him, listen, I really love you. You know that I would never do anything that would hurt you. I don't have nothing to do. Basically just reiterating how they feel about each other. And he tells her that he really does have feelings for her. Because she was like, am I in this by myself? Like, am I stupid? And he was like, no, I do. Now, he ain't never say he loved her. He never said that. But he did say that, that he had feelings for her. He let, I got love for you. You know what I'm saying? But I can't say I love you. But she ultimately Um, but ultimately, he said, they decided they were going to meet the next day, that they would have a drink the next day, just to kind of continue to take this whole situation slow. And she said, well, she gave him a piece of paper and she said, read this when you get a chance. But as soon as she walked off, he read it. And I knew what it was when she gave it to him. She told him where his wife and kid was, right? So the next day, she's at the place where they were supposed to meet. He calls her, and she answers the phone, and she's got like a smile on her face and everything. She was like, Marcus, she said, I knew you weren't going to show up. He said, I'm sorry. He said, I left as soon as I got, as soon as I got the information. He said, I missed her so much. And I'm sure that Eden is assuming that he's talking about Vanessa, talking about his wife, but he's talking about his daughter. And we see him look like he's on some sort of island somewhere. And he says, yeah, she said, well, I guess I'll see you next season. He said, maybe. And she just got quiet and he was like, I do love you. And she was like, love you too. So that was the end of that. Then we see Mia sitting at the house and the news drops about the video recordings and everything. And we see Eden's father being arrested, being taken away. They're talking about how this is, far reaching, that the foundation has been exposed. And so Mia calls MJ and is like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Like, I can't believe you did it. Like, I ain't believe you. I thought you was going to kind of leave me hanging, but you really came through. Like, oh my gosh, like you really came through. And he was like, of course I did. Like, I told you I would. And he's sitting at a diner eating breakfast. And all of a sudden, people's phone starts going off. Like, everybody's phone starts going off. And come to find out that the foundation absolutely did leak his initiation video, which made him look like some sort of a pervert. And so later on in the episode, he's trying to call his boyfriend, which I don't know why you calling him, MJ. He told you what the consequences were going to be if you violated and you double crossed the foundation. Like, I don't know why you calling this man, like you thought that his love for you was going to overshadow that whole situation. No, sir. Next thing you know, the police are beating at his door and they done arrested him. They got him jammed up on credit card fraud and all kinds of charges, child. Then we see Mia, Terrence calling Mia. She was like, have you heard anything about MJ? Like, do you know anything going on with MJ? And he was like, nah, but they got him hemmed up pretty good. And he said, Mia, what's up? And she was like, what you mean? He was like, you never answered my question. Like, you never answered my question. And she was like, what do you mean? He was like, what do you mean what I mean? Like, I asked you to marry me and you never answered. And she said, Terrence, look. He said, so you don't love me? Like, he was like, you can't marry me? And she said, I really do care about you, but, I'm just not, I just don't think that's a good idea. And he said, so let me get this straight. You would rather be deported than than marry me. And she said, Terrence, and before she could finish the sentence, he hung up the phone. And then he picked up the phone and called somebody else. He was like, take her. And I said, Terrence, I had a feeling that Terrence was in on the bullshit. I had a feeling that he was connected because that shit was too easy with that whole foundation situation. It was way too easy for him to get anyway. Baby, next thing you know, immigration is, ICE is busting down her door, but she ain't there. She must have had a feeling about Terrence too, because baby, she was gone, which means that she already had herself a little go bag and everything, and she was out. But I think she probably wasn't at home when she was talking to him to begin with, because I don't think she was that damn quick. But I think she probably already was, wasn't there. Anyway, last but not least, we see Miss Golden Goddess. The studio is calling her, begging her to come back, and he said, I got another pilot for you, and don't worry, what happened the last time won't happen again. And she was like, nah, I'm good, I got a better offer. And she rolls out. Now, I don't know what this better offer is. I don't know who offered her anything or offered her what, but baby, she rolled on out on them. So anyway, that's the finale. Don't know if there's gonna be a season 3, because Lord knows by these reviews, I don't know if anybody's watching the show. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.